everyone. So first off, I want to apologize that this review is as late as it is. It's been a very trying day with my computer right today. So, yeah. But getting this out of the way first. We get several movie cameo appearances among the crowd of people watching the news broadcast of the final battle in this chapter. And going through a rapid fire of them, we have with Salam, who looks like an Egyptian wall painting. He was in the World Heroes Mission movie, although I guess technically he did make his manga debut quite a few chapters back. Rhodey, Sol, and his siblings, Roro and Lala, also from World Heroes, although, honest to God, I had to look extra hard to find Rhodey in the crowd, because I think he was in an image panel separate from his siblings. We also had Mahoto and Katsuma Shimano, the siblings from Heroes Rising, and finally Melissa Shield, which, from Two Heroes, although her cameo was the least surprising of all considering there have been many times throughout the series where All Might has gotten a hold of hero gear for Izuku, and this just confirms obviously Melissa was his supplier. And although these cameos are likely just fan service moments, it is nice to see Horikoshi acknowledge that the movies and the mainline series do still have loose threads of continuity, even if the actual content of the movie itself is in canon. It's kind of similar to what One Piece does with its movies and its series and all that. But even more than that, I love how Horikoshi also took the time to show the rapid increase in view count, traffic to Gentle's channel, and that Gentle really is kind of becoming one of the biggest heroes in this whole thing, just for the fact that he's getting the recognition he wanted, but he's doing it by streaming the most important event that will decide the history of both heroes and society, and it's something people need to watch. They need to see this play out in order to decide: are we going to live or are we going to die? It is important to see. It's important for human beings, I think, in a lot of ways, to see just what is going to be our fate ultimately. What is going to happen to us, and I like that. With that out of the way, though, let's talk a little bit about Machia, because I'm not gonna lie, Gigantomachia as a character, he's really just been. It's ironic to say this, because considering the context of the backstory and whatnot, but Gigantomachia has always been a means to an end. He's been a tool to be used for the purpose of the villain side of the story. And in that respect, you could almost say how I've thought about him is kind of meta to this chapter, because this, I'm not gonna lie, this might be the first time throughout the entirety of Hiro Aka's run that I actually feel sorry for the Big Lug. In this chapter alone, we see he was the only one among all the villains who was generally loyal to All For One, and although it was misguided loyalty, he still served him loyally because he respected him so much. From the very beginning, Gigantomachia was there from the very beginning. He was there for it all. So to see All For One just stone-faced silence while Machia is pouring his heart out, asking for answers. Why did you abandon me? Why don't you answer me? Why have I had to search so long to find you? And All For One just giving him the silent treatment pretty much says it all. Like everything and everyone else, Machia was just another tool to be used, and once he no longer had worth, he was simply thrown away. And at the end of the day, the only use he only ever had was as a backup body, and that wore out immediately once Tenko came along. But even more so now that All For One has regained his youth, he barely has any use for Machia at this point. It's just really sad. I can't believe I'm actually feeling sympathy for the Big Lug, but it's just really sad to see this one person who was constantly loyal to All For One just be thrown out like trash. The League of Villains are one thing, but Machia was just always there, always serving always subservient, always giving his loyalty, his trust to All For One, and now just nothing. Like, I do, yeah, I genuinely feel for Maki, unfortunately. Like, I really do. And he may not be the most, Maki might not be the most tragic character, but I still respect the hell out of him for this. I still do respect him a lot, honestly. I just respect him for at least holding true to himself, true to his morals, all what he believed was right, that kind of thing. With all that said, if I did have one complaint about the chapter, is that for as cool as it was seeing all the people watching the big clash with the villain, I do admit it took up quite a bit of page real estate, to the point where I do wish we got to see more than just that pretty much singular, like, double panel of Izuku versus Shigaraki. But I get why Horikoshi does this. Like, it's really to set the stage for the stakes that, yeah, if this battle is lost, society really will crumble. And I know for a lot of us, it's hard for us as readers to care about background characters we barely know. But the one thing I do still, like, admire Horikoshi for is showing that human perspective, that in the background of all the big epic fights, there are actual lives at stake, even if we don't know these people. And each one of them could be snuffed out in an instant if the heroes fail, which, again, we all know they are going to win, but I think I think in some ways, while there are probably series that have done it better, it is still important to show that more vulnerable perspective of humanity. It's just, in this case, I also wish we did get a little bit more with Shigaraki and Izuku, and not even a whole lot more, but just like a small conversation or something. But maybe we'll probably get a lot more focus on that in the coming chapters. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I got for this review. Again, it was a pretty straightforward but pretty great chapter overall. Honestly, I really liked it. But if you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Analyst, Crunchyroll. Be sure to notification bell, subscribe button, and just sit around, guys. Dark Knight Vinny, sign off. Later, everyone.